Hello and welcome back to Ireland. Last time, well, we got mad, or I got mad, due to the fact Great Britain is now under in a union under France of all things. So, as things stand, I most likely have to fight at France, whom I can't actually force to release anything, due to the fact that, well, I can force them to release these two, or this province, but nothing more than that. And other than that, I can't really do anything, anything at all to help myself here. There's two provinces that we can force them to give up, nothing more, due to the fact that course actually, most of them at least, disappears on, well, on a specific date, which is kind of annoying. But I guess we'll have to live with this. Hopefully we can break up that union one way or another. But for the time being, we'll still just continue with colonization, and we also did the annexation of the Aztecs. So we'll be converting their lands and basically trying to get ourselves in a sweet position to get some troops, to get some power, to get money to fight the French, and hopefully some more allies as well. We are allied with the Spaniards, and we are allied with Burgundy here. So we do have those two allies in the fight on the French, and I'm pretty sure the Spaniards will actually be quite a big help here. If we do a quick military-wise check, Spain have 77,000 men, the French have 84. And we have 20 or 30, depending on how you look at it. But the French have one tech higher than us when it comes to military. So I guess I'll wait, or both me and Spain will wait with fighting them until we actually have the appropriate tech to be able to pose a challenge. And we also have Burgundy, which has about 40k troops. So we aren't actually that outnumbered when you see. We actually have pretty good odds. But I have to wait for. I'll have to wait a little bit, and then we'll see if we can pull it off or not. So, for the time being, colonization and blocking off Portugal from going further north or south here, and basically linking up my lands with the Incan lands is the priority. So we'll see how it goes. We'll probably also start colonizing up the coast here to secure those lands, but not really much else will be going on. So. We'll see how it turns out, and if we actually end up causing some trouble for Great Britain and ultimately France. Diplomatic tech has been increased to level 9, carracks and caravels, so I get a little bit boost to enable morale. Also my colonial range increased to 50, and I also can now build carracks and caravels, which are an upgrade in the heavy ships and also the light ship, or the frigate as it were. So our next level we'll get a boost to trade efficiency, which will be daily welcome. So for the time being, it's not really that much I can do. I don't even think I can fabricate a claim here on. No, I can't actually fabricate even a claim on the French. So when we actually end up in a position where I'll have to fight them, I'm pretty sure things will be kind of tough, but I think we'll be able to pull through here. As you can see here, our new king, our second of Connaught, lots of point stability, and he's a 331, which is fairly okay. The heir, however, Turlo 202, crappy as hell. And if he's old enough, he'll definitely become a general right away. But he's probably, yeah, kind of what I anticipated here. He's serial, or is a newly born, more or less. And my king is 15 years old, so he should actually be able to survive for a while. Or at least I can hope that he will survive for a while. As you can see, colonies are being set up. We'll have 4 once this colonist arrives, so that's quite nice. On that, not really that much to do again. I will be building, I believe, the embassy now. Finally, I guess you could say. So other than that, not really much to do. Administrative technology has reached level 16, college and mint, and I can now build the 2 buildings, college and mint. So it's not that interesting. Next level, however, is quite interesting. It will give me the university, which gives a boost to technology cost minus 5%, which is actually quite good. And I'll also have another idea group, most likely a administrative one. And we're closing in on the military power we need to get the next tech or next level military tech, which is quite nice as well. And currently I'm just building a small army here that I will most likely just use to beat down rebels like these or peasants that have risen up in Mexico. And yes, I think even at my current level of maintenance, I should be able to beat them. But yeah, also, as you can see here, Portugal has been, as far as I can see, successfully blocked off, so that's nice. So for the time being, I'll just continue playing around and see how things work out. And apparently, my maintenance was a little bit too low, it seems. And these guys probably run all... No, they didn't run all the way to Canada. which is kind of nice. But yeah, it's a little bit too bad that they actually can't beat them with twice the numbers at low maintenance. But I'll just have to come back and try again, more or less. Should be possible. We'll also be able to up the maintenance a little bit, but should be fine once again. So we'll see how things turn out. Military technology 16 has been reached. Standardization of caliber. And we get an increase in combat width by 1, artillery fire by a whole point, artillery shock by 0.10. I can also now use charge infantry, as well as I can now build an arsenal. But as you know, it's Tech 19 that's really what I'm looking forward to, because once we get that, we'll most likely be in a good position to go after the French. But there is also kind of a problematic thing of going after the French, and that is that they have all of their troops in basically this small area. And when it comes to, I actually have a royal marriage with Britain, so that alliance doesn't actually pose any, how should I put it, negatives to me. And also, while I was talking about the French here, they have all their 100k troops in one area. We will have them or rather spread, so that's one negative thing. But hopefully by the time that I'm actually ready to fight them, I'll have colonized most of North America, and I'll probably also have integrated the Inca, but I'll probably be a kind of wary of integrating them due to the fact that I might get a border with the Spanish, and thus they might actually get pissed and turn on me. So I'll most likely keep the Incas around for as long as I can keep the Spanish alliance alive, and that means that I'll have to colonize the west coast here to try and avoid getting a border with them. So we'll see how that plan works out. It seems that Austria might have forced my hand more or less here, because what they've currently done is put themselves in a war with the French, and it's kind of interesting considering if we take a look at this. France 84,000 troops, 93,000 manpower. Austria 45,000 men and no manpower. Weird. But if Austria actually brings in all of their allies, it gets kind of interesting, especially with the Russians as well. So what I'm thinking here is actually trying to move my armies over to Spain. And most likely Brittany as well. Even Burgundy could be a potential place to move them to. Basically, I'll be moving my troops into a position so we can also get into this, well, action. I'll probably have to keep 20,000 men in Great Britain, though, to deal with them, when I think about it. So I might actually not be able to help much myself, but at the very least we'll be able to cause some destruction here. Hopefully, because the French troops will be away, and if we start sieging, there'll definitely be possibilities that get in trouble here. As you can see, they're currently at war with Austria, Brandenburg, Pomerania, Lunenburg, Portugal, and Savoy. So far the Russians haven't actually joined in. So I'll wait a little bit longer, and we'll see if we try to declare war on Great Britain with under the assumption that we can keep France at bay. We'll have to see how it turns out. Well, I guess I'll actually just go for it here, declare a war, and I've also done kind of a dirty trick, I dare call it. I have offered alliances to the Swedes, the Bohemians, and Hungary. I'll most likely break those alliances as soon as the war is done, but the goal is basically to just drag them into this once and for all. And as you can see, Milan, Tuscany, and Friesland, they are subject to France, which will protect them. But what I'll be going after here is Ayrshire, which is basically a Scottish province. And, well, did Scotland lose their... No, Scotland didn't actually lose their cause, which is kind of weird. Well, I'm glad they didn't. But as we're saying, we'll declare most likely a war now, with the goal of, well, taking Ayrshire, hand this back to Northumberland, probably take Lincoln and Oxfordshire as well, and probably something else on the way. We'll have to see, but it should work out just fine. If I call all willing allies, let's see, Hungary will not join, Brittany will not join, Burgundy will join, Spain will join, and Sweden will join. So at least I got the Swedes in this for me. So I have Spain, Burgundy, and Sweden. Sweden do have a lot of men, and they do have a high quality army. That is a fact. Britain does not. The French, I have no idea how they actually are looking in terms of, well, they do have military level 17, which is kind of scary. But the other thing that's scary with that is the cavalry shock. So that's okay, I guess. And let's see here. They have taken as you can see, none of the military ideas, so their army is definitely not as great as one can imagine. The French traditions, however, does give them some extra morale, and I believe it also gives them some, extra discipline, which is quite bad because we do not get those same benefits here. But I do have quality and also the defensive idea here that gives some extra morale, and thus I should be able to more than outmatch their army. When it comes to the Spaniards, they do have what? They do have defensive ideas, so they can also do the morale, or at least match it, which is quite nice. I have no idea, well, I can't actually remember if the Spanish do have, they do have some morale and discipline bonuses, so they aren't completely on their own. The Swedes, however, I'm pretty sure has the best army you can wish for here. They have all their 7 Swedish ideas, which gives some pretty damn hard infantry combat ability plus 50%, discipline plus 15%. Let's see what else. Leader shock plus 1, and they also have the first 4 quality ideas, so their infantry is pretty damn solid. And due to that, I'm pretty sure that if I were to declare war on Britain and the Swedes and everyone joins in, I'll probably want to have the Swedes as an ally after this, so we'll go ahead and accept that royal marriage. The Hungarians and the Bohemians, however, will probably just break the alliance, as I said, afterwards. But we'll give this a go, and what I'm really hoping for here is that Burgundy and the Swedes and Spain can cause most of the damage, because I'll have to focus on sieging Great Britain first, and once I'm done with that, I can come down to France myself and start trying to dish out some damage, although probably minuscule. We'll have to see how it turns out, but for now we have declared war on Britain, which in turn means that I have declared war on the French, and it will definitely be interesting to see how this turns out, but at least I won't have to worry about Portugal. They're actually on our side here, due to the fact that Ireland, Northumberland and Inca, Austria, Brandenburg, Pomerania, Limburg, Portugal and Savoy. There's another possibility here, or a positive thing. Due to the fact that we are now actually ganging up on France, I could potentially get some, or potentially some other people will probably jump on the bandwagon, take the chances and declare war as well. So it will definitely be interesting to see how this turns out, but for now I'll focus on getting rid of the British army, and then sieging, Great Britain, and then we'll be moving down to France ourselves. So far the war is going fairly well. This is mostly a mercenary army, so it can be dealt with at any time. Currently I'm just not reluctant to allow sieges to be well disturbed by this. And as you can see, there are basically a front line here with a lot of the armies that are our team. The Swedish armies are also here, which is quite good. And when you look at the amount of men, the sheer numbers, we do outnumber them almost 2 to 1, and that is pretty damn sweet as well. And potentially I can try to get out Friesland due to their high war exhaustion, Milan and Tuscany. And once I actually do that, I'll be able to, I didn't know that Naples was in a union with them as well, but that's kind of scary. But as I was saying here, with that we can potentially start causing some serious issues here. And the French are actually winning against Austria, but all in all they are fighting in the mountains, and thus the manpower and also the total amount of forces that they have will suffer, and then slowly but surely their economy. So all in all I'd say we're doing pretty well, although the AI is stupidly not sieging anything, just sitting by here and not doing anything at all. The Portuguese, they are sieging Friesland however, so I can potentially piece them out whenever I so would desire. I kind of uncertain how we will actually go with Great Britain and their colonies up here, but for the time being I'm pretty sure all the troops are actually down here in Great Britain itself, so they should be easily dealt with. But for the time being I'll be focusing mostly on the sieges, and once I've sieged most of this area I'll try to sneak my armies down to France, but it seems that it will be a difficult task. But I'll try to keep my eyes on the biggest battles. I believe we have lost 1 or 2. Yeah, we have lost some battles here. The Northumbrians attacked the British, and that is kind of a weird loss, but I would believe it's due to them retreating, due to probably a big French army coming. But as I was saying, sieges, and then we'll see how things go. As expected, it was actually a mercenary army, and thus it was very easily destroyed. A single battle actually gave me 5% war score as well, which is, to be honest, a little bit surprising. But at least now I am basically free to siege whatever I so desire, and thus we can actually get to sieging the war score, or not the war score, the war goal, which I haven't actually touched so far, and that is kind of interesting news, I dare say. So with that, I'll get some sieges up, and we'll see if we can get what I came for, more or less. As you can see, the French armies have basically been whittled down quite a bunch. They have basically 30,000 infantry and 30,000 cannons, and that is a very weird and dangerous mix, because cannons cannot actually do much if they're on their own. And because of that, I'm pretty sure we'll actually win this, because as you can see, we do have 29,000 Swedes standing here, ready to fight. These guys will be back in the mix pretty soon, so that's not a problem either. And once I actually start landing troops there myself, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to beat them back here. And the funniest thing is, there's still a war with Austria, but they can't actually do anything here, or the Austrians are pretty bad at it. But it does seem like the war, although it said that it was the Casus Belli, this is actually a succession war, which means that the Austrians were chosen to fight the French over the Neapolitan throne. But it's also kind of funny to see that the 30,000 Spaniards that are just standing there without being part of the war. But also, as you can see, we are basically now carpet sieging everything in Great Britain. So all that remains now is to be patient, and most likely try and sneak my troops over to France as soon as possible. I'll probably sneak them into Burgundy, try and get myself a fleet basing right, and simply use that to be able to land them directly through the fleet. But this is unfortunately all we have time for this episode, and I'm kind of a little bit worried how the French are going to react to this, because, well, if you see here, they do still have some manpower and a lot of forces, but the Swedes don't actually have that same manpower, so that could potentially be very troublesome. But I can land about 30,000 troops in France if I'm given the opportunity, and that should be more than enough to tip this more or less definitely in our favor. And also, once I actually siege Ayrshire, you'll see that we'll get 10% extra war score as well. So nothing to worry about right now. We should be able to win this, so we'll continue the war next time. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and I'll see you around next time. Bye!